We're focused on bringing the solution that was designed 60, 70 years ago and has been improved for the Netherlands and for Japan and for these countries in Europe and Asia that have very, very large demand. And so the issue has always been, how do you make it affordable and comparable in cost to what the Netherlands and Japan is paying, but do it at a scale that works for a country of 110,000 people. And that's what our focus has been. So what we do is, first off, we are not a middleman. We don't buy LNG from somebody and then sell it to Aruba. We make LNG. And so from that standpoint, you're cutting out the middleman. Secondly, our facility in Florida is very close to Aruba. That's very, very important because the ships we use are smaller than the ships that go to Asia and to Europe. And that's required in order to bring efficiency and reduce cost. And then finally, the infrastructure we're building here in Aruba, first off, it stays in Aruba and it enables this movement to gas. But in addition, it is sized the correct way for Aruba. So if you look at, for instance, other countries in the Caribbean that have moved to LNG, and I'm talking about the Dominican Republic and the Protectorate of Puerto Rico, as well as Jamaica, they have very, very large tanks, which is what you would build if you were in Europe and Asia. And that's what has made their LNG expensive. Here, we're still building 20 days, a month worth of storage on the island of Aruba, but it's the right size for Aruba. And because we are so close, we can ensure that security of supply and the constant deliveries of LNG. And that's what makes this a sustainable, affordable solution. And one that is not only feasible, but that will be here as soon as this project is completed. We've brought international pipeline experts here to Aruba, and we've done that over the course of the last year to meet with DTI, talk through them the merits of both. You know, from our standpoint, we are going to do what the regulatory authorities say to us, and certainly we have our recommendations in terms of enhancing safety, because no matter what, this project will live and die by its safety record, and safety has to be at the very top of our agenda. To be clear, and I think this is important, is to give context to people. You know, almost every home in Aruba has a propane tank next to it, because propane is used for cooking and for other uses in the house. Every year there are over 3,000 incidents, fires, explosions with propane around the world. In the United States alone, there are 2.2 million miles of pipeline that go through neighborhoods that serve houses. There are over 2.7 million miles of pipeline that run throughout the US. Many of those pipelines are 50, 60, 70 years old. And yet, despite that, last year there were only 28 major incidents in the United States with natural gas pipelines. So it's important to provide context to people, and you certainly see it in the news, propane tanks, various things that happen here in Aruba. And so to give people context on what we're talking about in terms of a modern state-of-the-art natural gas pipeline, low pressure, medium pressure, to serve the Webb facility.
But it's safe for the rest?
It has to be, first and foremost. And that's why I think it's important to understand 2.7 million miles of pipeline and 28 incidents that serve 56 million households in the United States. Here we're talking about a 9-kilometer pipeline that's low pressure.